was just a small pea in a land of big power. And believe you me, it ran like any other business. Cutthroats, backstabbers, and dumb shits. Doesn't matter now. I admit it. I was the dumb shit. I was out of my league. See, I remember what they said at the beginning. And that was, don't deal dirt. You know, swag, bonehead, dirt. And it wasn't like I wasn't listening. It's just that the money got good and the motion was madness. The fast lane. That's my friend Pip. He was my best friend. He was the big stickleback guy in the city. He was on 42nd Street. Then there's Acid Man with the top hat. He was always telling me cryptic things. And then, of course, Iron Mike with the handcuff. Then there was the hydroponic grower, Howdy, Acid Man again, and the Anteater. Yeah, and then Baby Huey, the big fat guy with all the dough. Yeah, that was Baby Huey. He said there's a rat in every ring and an angel at every port. Now, I thought I was just penny ante. I guess that's not the case. Like Fred said, no matter what amount, if you're making money, you're on the foul line. You know, I was never good at catching passes or staying on home plate, but I was a good listener, which enabled me to swing. It all lays down in the hands of a few good men. I was everyone's friend, but my best friend was an old dealer by the name of Pip. He used to be a big coke dealer in our nation capital. But they ran him out of town because they couldn't crack his code. He was the code man. You know, he always had this wild notion that William Shakespeare was nothing but a drunk, that Sir Francis Bacon was the main dude, but he had to protect himself in order to keep cool, man. His mother just killed his father and his brother. You know, Pip said it was all in the plays, all the dirt. You know, Pip was always trying to warn me and set me up, create my own territory. He was my advisor, man. He spent time in jail, man. He called chicks tomatoes and... That's Fred. He was my supplier. Now, he always made the connection with everyone. You know, Fred was in the FBI and the Navy. Fred was also into guns. He was no vegetarian. He knew Howdy, the hydroponic grower, way upstate. He was the biggest crossbreeder in the Union. He had the best seeds on the market. And yeah, Anteater would pick them up every year. That's Baby Huey. Now, he was the big fat guy with the colorful hat. He was a half-wit with two sides of a brain. One was a decoder and the other a computer memory line. Now, he could remember deals from the 50s and who's who in the big book of Mr. Biggs. He was the one you would go to if you were in trouble. It would cost you a lot of cake, but, you know, flipping was the name of the game. If it was a good salesman. He was always coming down to Manhattan. I'd have him over my pad. He'd drop off a couple sheets, and I'd listen to what he had to say. You know, he once played in Dylan's band, and he was a known wizard. Acid Man was well-respected and never messed with. They say he was blessed by the Dalai Lama, and that he was protected by a gang of Tibetan thugs. He was a damn good guitar player. You know, but he had something to tell me. Cryptic connection. He knew everything about me. He knew that I was secretly dealing with Iron Mike, a real no-no because I jumped connections, because the Anteater was undercutting me and I was losing out big time, because, yeah, I too wanted a piece of the quarter of a pie. You know, Pip's the one that taught me to be this aggressive. He's the one that told me to make the final deal. And I went nicely to see Iron Mike, but if you're going to see Iron Mike, you better be carrying Harry. I always had plenty of Harry, so I could show him exactly what I mean. He was going to set me up. He was going to let me in on the whole deal. I was going to make a new connection. I was going to finally make some money in this game. I set up a big deal. A big deal with me, of all people, with the Anteater. I had to pick up 10 pounds of the hydroponic at 50 grand. He said he was going to help me and show me the way to do things. But I knew they were setting me up once again, and I went to go talk to Baby Huey. Now, he said it's a black market, babe. You got to play their way. They want to see if you can swim. So some people from the Rainbow Gathering told me, go ahead, meet him on the lake, make the deal. I talked to Acid Man. He said, do it. Follow your own nose. And then even my friend Pip, the last time I saw him was at the car wash, and he too said, do it. You're finally going to make some money. The ice deal, the lake deal, do it. Yeah. So I did the deal. I made the money. I was going to leave town for a couple weeks, you know? Because I was thinking I was being investigated by a couple murders on 5th Street. The detectives found my phone number on the dead man's body. I had to leave town for a while, so I was saying goodbye to everybody. You know, it was a bright, sunny day, and I was walking over to the East River. I met Iron Mike on the FDR Bridge and Avenue D, and it was sweating up. It was fast and smooth, and I was wearing white. And it wasn't because I didn't have Harry. He could go to 5th Street. His monkey was spurting for a cut. He said about 5 words to me, and then I was hurting. The last thing I saw was that spin out.
Putting the finger on them.
You know, I had a lot of good friends. I just didn't see what was right in front of me.
Find out what
Black
killed
is
them.
white, white is black. My card was drawn. I was gone.
I got enough for me, but not enough for you. Me, but not enough for you. Said enough for me, but not enough for you. Said enough for me, but not enough for you. They don't know how much I haven't got.
Like I know, what your loving, girl, has done for me.
Once upon this earth, somewhere in a great metropolis, came two strangers. They appeared and acted like no one else. They soon grew accustomed to their surroundings and remembered their reason for being here. With their orders in hand, they set off to accomplish their mission. Miles away, high above the city, in a protected environment, lived a conspicuously vulgar man who cared for nothing but his own avidity. He had everything money could buy and cared nothing for what it could give. Soon his destiny would change.